For programmers, the most important parts of a computer are the CPU and RAM. The CPU, or Central Processing Unit, is like the brain of the computer, executing instructions given by the programmer. Every processor has specific instructions that it can execute, called the instruction set. These are mostly simple things like adding two numbers together or moving memory around. By combining many of these simple instructions, it can do complex things. The instruction set of this AMD Ryzen processor is called x86. Most desktop computers have a processor with a x86 architecture. The RAM, or random access memory, is the memory that the CPU directly communicates with and running programs use. For example, part of the video you are watching right now is saved in your RAM by the browser to be able to be processed and shown on your screen. The RAM is only able to keep its memory with active power, meaning when you restart your PC, the RAM is reset as well. This makes it useless for things that should be persistent like files, but it is much faster compared to normal disk storage. The RAM is split up into single bytes that each have their own address. We start with the address 0 instead of 1. You will see this much more often in programming. If we would want to store the decimal number 9 at address 5, it would look like this. The CPU only understands something called machine code. Machine code is just instructions encoded into binary. Every CPU architecture has its own instruction set and therefore its own machine code. An example of an add instruction in x86 machine code would look like this. We will not go in depth into which part of the binary number means what, but you just need to know that it adds two numbers together. Now that we have the instruction, we need to tell the CPU to execute it. We do this by changing the instruction pointer of the CPU. The instruction pointer inside the CPU points to the memory address in RAM of the next instruction to execute. So what we need to do is put the instruction into memory and then set the instruction pointer to the first byte of that memory location. Let's put the instruction into the RAM at address 3 to 4. Now let's set the instruction pointer to the address of the first byte of the instruction. The next instruction the CPU will work on is now our add instruction. Programming with machine code by setting bit by bit is obviously very tedious and inefficient. A better solution was needed, especially when computers got much faster. What they came up with is assembly language. With assembly language, you can write single CPU instructions in a human-readable format. Here is an example of an add instruction in assembly. The first part is the type of instruction. The second part is the location of the first operand. And the last part is the second operand that gets added to the first operand. In this case, a simple number. As you can see, this is much more intuitive and easier to use compared to machine code. But even assembly language is not used much today. What we use today are high-level languages. With high-level languages, we no longer care about CPU instructions. We care about things like variables, conditions, and loops. Regardless of which programming language you use, whether it is assembly or any high-level language, in the end it has to be converted into machine code, as this is the only language the CPU understands. Some high-level languages are first converted into assembly language and then into machine code. Converting from a high-level language or assembly language to machine code is called compiling. In this course we will learn the C programming language. C is one of the older languages, but it is still one of the most used ones. It is also arguably the most impactful language of all time. For example, almost every operating system is written in C. If you interact with any kind of device, whether it is your car or your fridge, it has most likely some C code in it. I think C is a great starting point because it forces you to understand the code to be able to achieve something. With some of the higher level languages, you have the ability to do things without really knowing what's going on. It is also a relatively small language compared to something like C++, and it is the perfect foundation for any other programming language. In the next video we will write our first line of code. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.